Hello, folks. I'm Dan Hollifield, and welcome to Last Man Standing. Unfortunately, this will be the last regularly scheduled Last Man Standing for several weeks, if not a month or so. We are going to have as much fun as possible in this particular little episode. But let me get this ticker back up. Um, what's happened is that I'm going to have to go back on swing shift to help train some quality control people. And as such, there are going to be at least every other week from now on that I will be at work during Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing. There are going to be times when I can make Last Man Standing and have to get up for work in the morning and can't do a Stupid O'Clock. No, other way around, there'll be times when I'll be awake for Stupid O'Clock but won't be able to do a Last Man Standing. Um, Definitely have not had enough beer to get this stuff right yet. Um, these things, they happen. Um, Now, let me see here. I've got to switch this from Joe Dog's banners to my banners, and that's just not. It's weird. Uh, some of you may know, but some of you will not know. This is not my own StreamYard. This is Joe Dog's StreamYard. I just have been privileged enough to have ops on it, which gives me access to uh, all the start stop buttons for Stupid O'Clock and all the um banners and animated goofball stuff that is there, as well as the ones that I have created on my own in a separate directory. So sometimes I have to share this stuff. Right now with me we got Rich and a couple of other people might show up later. We just don't know. It's about time for Mike to wake up. Mike, Jimmy, I think I just sent you a
Yep.
link, and
Um,
Donna's
Morning, Mike.
here,
Hey, Donna.
Yay.
and Chris is still suffering from a lack of dependable um, video
In,
capability, but he's still in the chat.
Interwebosity.
Ah, and hey, Josh, we're getting by here. So, yep. Matthew,
Yeah,
you're
here.
welcome too, boy. Let me see if I can pull that up and send him the invite as well. Um, I don't know that I've ever actually been on Messenger with Matthew, but doesn't look like it. So we'll just set that up right now. Um,
What? Hi, Don.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
John,
Long time no see, John.
That's why it says John Scarborough on the little blue name tag over here.
mm-hmm.
Oh, so how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good. I
Me too.
sold.
I went grocery shopping today. Went to Ingles. They had their filet mignons on sale,
Oh wow.
and they had Boston butt pork roast on sale. So
That's never a bad thing.
no, that's one of those keep it in the freezer and you can do something with it later.
Aw.
But it's sitting in the fridge right now. I'm arguing over whether to smoke it tomorrow or not.
Well, the trick is don't roll it too tight.
Actually, you get a really big cigar, core it out, stick that pot roast, stick that roast all up in there, and then just make you a blunt roast.
Sometimes I make jokes appropriate only to the 70s. I'm sorry, folks, but
I'm just getting pictures of Gregory Hines and History of the World Part 1. You know what this is? This is Roman Red. Everybody, Lindis.
here we go with Mike Jimmy, and
Hey, Mike.
we're the gang's almost all here. So,
Who we missing?
well, different people pop in from time to time.
That is true.
So,
There we go.
oh, let me get that banner off. It's
Rich got that joke. Or Rich got that joke. Yeah, that is, we were talking a couple shows back. We were talking about great comedies that everyone needs to see. And of course, History of the World Part 1 and Blazing Saddles. Well, pretty much anything my mail works.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Then, the airplane movies.
mm-hmm.
Zucker
One that a lot of
Brothers.
people had not heard of, and that kind of shocked me. Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh yeah.
I was surprised
And
how people didn't know what the heck I was talking about.
There's another one that came out at the same time called The Boob Tube, which was another ensemble comedy thing, just like Kentucky Fried Movie, but with more of the Second City comedians featured in it. The folks that were, some of them wound up on Saturday Night Live. Some of them were on Second City television. Some of them went on to do roles in different movies where they had worked together in the past in different contexts. I mean, all the folks in Ghostbusters knew each other from the Second City and Saturday Night Live sort of circuit.
Yeah, because Rick Moranis was Second City.
Yes, and
then
hello, Keisha.
Thank you, Keisha.
Yeah, he was Second City and they got brought over.
Mm-hmm. Lord, I wish I could remember all the folks because they were all really, really good, no matter which group they were in or where they started from and went to later. But
of course, you had John Candy. Second City, and then I'm trying to think.
Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy.
I was trying to think of his name. Yeah.
And he went on to do the American Pie series.
Mm.
And then,
hey, Matthew, if you can, you can. If you can't, we'll miss you. But thank you for being here.
But not by far, because we're good shots.
It's just a warning shot.
Oh, okay.
Get him in the head. Yeah, it was a warning to everybody else standing around. Yeah.
Ended up having a pretty good day today.
Oh, good.
We had the local authors fair down at the library, outside in a tent. And the winds that were supposed to be 10 to 15 mile per hour ended up being 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a panel that had 3 people show up, 2 of whom were employees by the library. But I did end up selling 10 books.
Hey.
You did a lot better than I did then last week because I was
Really?
going into exactly the same kind of shows. No.
Well, this was 2 copies of each of my book that the library didn't already have. And I was impressed. She had a list of my books and
Oh, wow.
what she needed. So I'm like, oh, you must have gone on the Lulu and found out.
Mm-hmm.
So, because she came up and she says, "Okay, I need these, and these." Because I'm sitting there thinking, well, I know they've got at least the first two of the Beth and Hill series and the Hunter's Ridge. But yeah, and they buy two copies of each book of each of your books. They'll buy one to put in the archives. They'll be there forever. They can't ever be pulled off the shelf. And they buy one to go in the regular shelf so that anybody can get
Circulation,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even bought two each of the parental advisory books. I
Oh,
couldn't have to go in later and see where they put those.
Well, we know which ones are going to be checked out the most often, don't we?
I know which one. Ever since we put those little red banners on it that say parental advisory, we need to order more because we've got 3 more shows this year,
Mm-hmm.
and those have totally sold out.
I was thinking strongly. I might as well put parental advisory stickers on even my most vanilla stuff, because people tend to buy that going, "Hey, this is going to be good.
And people look
Remember
at it.
who wrote
Yeah,
it?"
people look at it and say, "Why is this on here?" And I'm like, "Graphic sex." Oh, okay, I'll have this one.
Oh, I
oh
could do
yeah.
that. I could do that with the one I did the illustrations for and call it graphic art.
Yeah. And then
It'd be
Jody McPhee,
pun, but still
yeah,
accurate.
Jody McPhee was trying to tell me that my stories were romantic, and I'm like, you haven't read Woodstock, have you?
Um,
Sometimes you just want to have fun.
Sometimes you want to have fun at somebody else's expense.
That's where the green room comes in.
True, true.
Or writing in pity.
uh, yeah. Well, what I meant was sometimes it's not consensual. It is a crime that
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
are discussing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And that has its place as well. I mean, if you don't point out what the bad guys are like in real life as well as in fiction, everybody going to look like good guys,
Yeah, yeah.
and the world is not made up of all good guys, because there's a large proportion of other people that don't have any interest in being good guys. They're out for themselves and whatever
Mm-hmm.
they can get, rather than, oh, let's be altruistic and try and help people. That sounded simplistic, but
Yeah.
simple minds. Um, that's why I write adventure stories, folks. Um, Black hats, white hats, knights in shining armor. Um, so far, I haven't had a dragon as a villain. I think the next major villain in something I'm writing is going to be a minotaur who is misunderstood and just wants to be human again.
Mm.
No, well,
No.
seriously, I took
Fair enough.
a poll of several writer friends of mine and going, which would make a better story, an evil wizard or a tortured um, minotaur that just wants to not be half cow anymore, willing
Well,
to give up.
at least not the wrong half of the cow.
Hey, he's willing to give up the bull. He just wants to be normal.
Now, why do dragons always have to be the bad guy? He's
Well, they don't. They don't.
dragon in my story is a good guy.
I've read a plethora of books where the dragons were, if not the heroes, then just regular characters.
Yes.
And depending on their own motivations and how they treated other characters, you had to decide on your own whether they were heroes.
I've read a lot of books where the dragon was like the hero.
Yeah.
Well, what's that one? Aragorn? Or
Yeah, Aragon.
Yeah.
Aragon. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then Elizabeth Scarborough had one that was the Drastic Dragon of Draco, Texas.
Mhm.
And, what was the Sean Connery one? Dragonheart.
Dragonheart.
Yeah,
Dragonheart.
Mhm.
that was a great movie.
And then there's Dragon and the George.
Mhm.
That
If you
was
want to
that was a
go,
really well done one. And then there's another one called A Flight of Dragons, which was based on a book whose title I cannot remember. But if you watch that animation and you know the book, you can go, "Hey, wait! They just shamelessly ripped off this guy's book."
mm,
But no, you watch the end credits; he did get paid.
That's
Hey,
good.
that's the thing. You can loosely adapt somebody's work, write him a check, give him a credit,
Yeah.
really acknowledge the fact that you loosely borrowed this, or you very strongly borrowed this, or you bought it outright. Just don't screw it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have been adapted for stage, screen, and animation that were not done true to the original intent, and were not done in such a way that the changes were not for artistic value or to make it more accessible to a modern audience. They were done because somebody wanted to push a personal agenda.
mm.
Mm.
I mean, if you want to go a newer IP where the dragons are the heroes as well, you can always go for How to Train Your Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually a very good series of movies. I was
Uh,
surprised at that.
Disney's Pete's Dragon comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
Um, but there's a whole lot of there's a wide genre of, shall we call them, misunderstood characters that
Hmm.
most of the other characters think are bad, that turn out to be, hey, these are the most moral and
Hmm.
kind and wonderful characters in the entire work, but because they are different, they get stereotyped in the beginning,
It's not
and
all about looks.
the entire work is getting the people doing the stereotyping, the other characters, into realizing that, hey, this is a decent person,
Hmm.
whatever their uh, morphological
Margaret Weiss
identity
and
happens to be.
Tracy Hickman with the Dragonlance series. A lot of
Hmm.
their dragons, um, ran around masquerading as people, and they ran the gamut. Some were really, really good. Some were really, really bad, and others were, somewhere in that moral gray area minefield that is in between.
Hmm. I've actually used that trope in some stuff that I wrote myself. Hasn't hit print yet, but um, not finished with that particular stretch of stories. Um, Actually, it winds up in the Spaceport Bar series, which will wind up being book two. Uh, I've got about 5 stories partly finished. 1 or 2 are totally finished and need editing, but the others, I've got the broad outline of the story, but not the complete story. And these are things that I have to write when the inspiration comes to me. It's not something I can write on a deadline. I can't just sit down and go, okay, time to write a spaceport bar story. I need 10,000 words. I got to have it by Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't work that way. Um, I got to wait till I get the opening narrative hook, so I know what the story's going to be, and then boom, the rest of it is character development, basically. And Rich can tell you about that because narrative hooks I can come up with really well, but it's
Hey,
got to be
Michaela.
something
Yeah,
that
Kelly.
can.
Good morning,
Hey,
Michaela.
Michaela, didn't even realize you were still up, darling.
No,
No, um,
She was getting up early for church.
Hmm.
that is quite early if she's getting up for church already.
Depends on the
or
church that you worship.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
I,
Hmm.
I prefer to attend Our Lady of Perpetual Motion myself, but
No, and I gave my editor the bad news today. We're going to need another parental advisory sticker for the book that's coming out in December.
yeah, it makes everything sell better.
Hmm.
Well, there is at least one graphic sex scene in several sexual situations.
No, I am rapidly becoming concerned that my readers will be disappointed that the sex scenes that I write aren't graphic.
But
No,
I
it's
don't
it's
usually.
suggested. I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
you know what they're doing. It just, you know,
yeah.
more than the taste is left to your imagination.
Well,
Fair enough.
that's the most of mine. But on these, well, the seduction of Lily Monroe, of course, kind of had to be a little graphic. But I'm a pantser, and I ride along, and then these voices go, "No, this is what I would do. You need to change that. You need to put it this way." And some of them just are little randy
Naughty.
characters.
I try
Um,
to put vanilla
Michaela will be here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
type stuff in, and my face glows brighter than John's shirt. I mean, I I'm just too prudish to be able to write. Even again,
And you call yourself a Viking.
He's a
not all
polite Viking.
not all
Um,
Vikings were into
Funny
that
thing
part.
about my shirt that you were just joking about. This is my Monty Python Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch shirt.
Yes.
Three shall be the number thou shalt count to.
And five
Yeah.
is right out.
Right out.
Well, that's like when we were writing Woodstock Dreams, there were three of us. And our third partner, very nice lady, brought up Catholic. She didn't mind the sex scenes that my character did, but we had one scene where the bad guy gets ticked off and he's reaming out one of the other characters for doing something wrong. And about every sixth word is the F bomb.
Hmm.
And she's like, nobody talks like that. And I'm like, honey, number
Oh, yes.
one, he's a gangster from Jersey.
Hmm.
Number two, he's based on somebody I know in real life. And this is
Mhm.
what that guy sounds like when he's mad.
I actually ran into complaints over there was a character having a nervous breakdown, and I basically transcribed something I witnessed myself. Different different sort of person, different situation, but it was true to life,
Hmm.
and I put it in, and somebody got irate because there was what seemed to be an illogical number of scatological references in their monologue at the time they were undergoing the nervous breakdown. And I'm just sitting there going, that's exactly what they said, word for word.
Like
You know,
we
My
heard.
my
yeah,
mother-in-law, bless her heart, and the normal way, not the pissed off Southern way. Um, she was brought up very, very Baptist. I was not. Um, in our family, we swear heavily. One day she's like, "Intelligent people don't talk like that, Rich." I'm like, I've got friends who are engineers. I've got a couple of friends who are studying aerospace engineering, so they are literally rocket scientists. I work in IT. You're trying to tell us we're not smart individuals?
Mm-hmm.
No. You use the right tool. Sometimes fiddlesticks does not get the steam vented
No.
properly.
yeah, really. There are occasions when sugar is not a strong enough word. It might be a really neat character trait for one particular character or another, but there are times when my black belt in industrial language does come in handy.
If a
And
character smashes their thumb with their hammer, they're not gonna say put.
yeah, really.
Exactly, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of short Anglo-Saxon words in there.
Many of
Or
which will flow together very nicely, or just
Mhm.
jumble together into one big one.
or
Mhm.
insert language of your choice, because I've seen that happen with a few of my friends of various Latin flavors of descent, and it's I just enjoy the way that that language rolls when they're just cussing something to the sun and back.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If
There's a reason why one of my favorite George Carlin routines is the seven little words you can't say on television. And it's if you actually hear him in his prime deliver this, it is almost poetry.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
people on voice calls with me on Discord can attest that when I get very pissed, I start swearing in Dutch. They don't understand what's being said, but they go, "Holy crap, that sounded awful."
I was stationed in Germany, my first tour right out of basic training. And when I came back to the United States, my mom started taking care of foster kids. Of course, you don't use profanity around foster kids, but I was a soldier. So, real quick, I trained myself to curse in German
Mm-hmm.
and still do to this day. Just,
And the kids learn German really quickly.
Oh yes,
Oh
teacher, what
yeah.
does Shakespeare mean?
their
John,
teacher,
why are you turning as red as your shirt?
their, their teacher at school was German.
Ooh.
When I decided to learn German, my grandmother, whose grandparents were fresh off the boat from Germany, taught my grandmother how to swear. My grandmother looked like this sweet little old lady, but she could swear a streak to make an Irish sailor blush. And so when she found out I was taking German, first thing she did is she taught me every single German curse word.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
No, now why is that? Back when I was in college here in Danville, we had quite the number of international students, a great majority of whom came from the Mid East, and of course would go crazy because they're not being watched over like they would be at home,
yes.
and go out with the American girls, especially the blonde American girls, and Okay, my second fiance was from Saudi. He taught me, and don't ask me to say anything. That's been 40 years ago. I don't remember, but I learned how to speak some Arabic, real Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, don't listen to what the other girls say because they are only teaching them how to say bad words.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so
Naturally,
yeah.
you went straight to the other girls and go teach me this.
What is he saying?
Mm. Uh, one of the weirdest things I ran into writing a story was my alien characters oftentimes will lapse into their own language
Mm-hmm.
in stressful situations.
As do we all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wound up phonetically trying to type stuff in that basically translated to an insult on the order of your mother mates with houseplants.
Goes way beyond tree hugger.
Hey, it worked for the character. This was exactly in character,
And
and
almost rhymes.
he was arguing with the ship's computer, and he actually told his ship's computer to remind him when they get back to base to have a strong word or dozen with the programmer. And the computer says, "Well, that's not going to be possible. My programmer died 500 years ago." Um, You were
Oh,
only 12 at the time. Um,
that puts me in mind. And remember when computer games were you typed in go 12 steps and then turn left or something like that?
yep.
We had the latest Star Trek game. And in it, you were Captain Kirk and you beamed down with Spock and a couple of red shirts. And you had to explore this town. And I wasn't good. To say that I wasn't good at this game uh, would be a vast, vast understatement. This is the first time I had ever done anything like that. So we send the red shirts off, and I'm trying to get in this building, and I'm typing in instructions to Spock, and he keeps saying, "That is illogical, Captain. That is illogical, Captain." And
It's logical for me.
they had to know that this thing would happen. I cut loose with a few Spock typed in, "That is physically impossible, Captain," and left me all alone there to fume because now I'm there by myself and I can't get in the window. I never did go back to that game.
You would think that other people in the red shirt community would um, get suspicious when Captain Kirk's first words upon beaming me down to a new planet with um, a couple of the senior officers and a crew of red shirts was, "Okay, y'all go dig 3 graves up on that hill. I'll explain later."
So Sierra, don't remember if they call it Sierra Entertainment or,
Yeah.
but they're a software company, um, well known for their Quest series of games.
Hey.
Thank you,
They
John.
Hey,
they programmed in, for every way you could swear at them that you could think of, the computer would have a snarky comeback for you
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
because they were frustrated like that. Where it's like, all right, get book. You can't reach that book, and then trying to get back to climb on table, reach book, still can't reach the book. F you. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm a computer.
That is physically
Now-
impossible, Captain.
The replies in Leisure Suit Larry were much more comical because Leisure Suit Larry, the point of the game was to F someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're all going to hell on the short boat.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, they need to make an updated version of Leisure Suit Larry.
There is.
They did.
There's a couple of
Of
remakes,
course there is.
actually.
And I mean,
They
like,
were- They remastered it, yeah.
mm,
In fact, on Steam, I want to say they remastered the King's Quest series, actually all of the series, I want to say, because I bought that as a pack 5 years ago or so. And then they also have completely redone King's Quest for the PlayStation with Christopher Lloyd voicing the old king.
oh, that sounds good.
The first chapter was free, and you'd have to buy the rest. Which reminds me, I actually need to buy the rest because I had fun playing the first chapter.
I used to play this game, and I had it on all my computers until I got this one. This one, I can't download it and run it on this computer. It was Empire Deluxe.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Hmm?
I haven't played games in 10 years. So
It's about as old as Minesweeper.
fair enough.
And it's like a bit like Axis and Allies, but somewhere between Axis and Allies and Command and Conquer.
Okay, this game looks really familiar, yeah.
Turn-based, and you had you had infantry and armor and different ships and planes. You could build runways and take over cities. And
Oh my god, I'm now seeing the pictures of Michaela, and yes, JJ is gigantic.
Yeah, and we've been giving her crap all night because it's just too damn cute, and she's gorgeous anyway. And
It's okay, you're a parent.
right. And so we were out at our friend's house when she actually got to our house, and so we weren't home. And I called her because she sent me a text, "Hey, got home," So I called her and I said, "Your dad is pissed." And I had her on speakerphone. So, of course, it's me and my husband and a couple friends of ours.
Oh, boy.
Right. But she knows them. So it's almost like her aunt and uncle. It's how close we are. So I said, your dad's pissed. Silence on the other end.
Oh.
Silence. She didn't even, ask why, nothing. There was just silence. And I was like, "I'm kidding." And she goes, "Oh, okay." Like, Jesus, dude, if you had curfew, I'd have told you. I've met his parents. They're decent people. I like their rules. You can't go in his room alone. Ha, ha, ha. I like these people. So we were giving her shit, and she was like, "Oh." And so then I hung up the phone with her, and I asked our friends, I said, how much do you guys want to bet? Her little heart was just going, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I didn't even try. Holy shit.
100%.
Yeah.
I think I would have gone for the full Monty and go, he better be in the living room with you when we get home.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and the cute part is they're both 15. Neither one of them can drive themselves anywhere. But they're this close.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh my God. That is entirely too suggestive.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But it reminds me of Mike Resnick's series of books.
Yep.
Damn, I'm sorry. He passed away before I got a chance to get him to autograph those things. Well.
It's not like it when I move.
How many Leisure Suit Larry games? You got me wondering about this now.
Hold on. I think there were at least 7.
Yeah, there's a
Version
lot.
version 72.6 and
No, we're not gonna go into the patch notes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Wow.
Oh, wait. 3 of them were remakes and remasters.
Still 10 games.
so 10.
And 10 of them were original titles.
Wow.
Okay.
Sierra made that.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Hmm. Didn't Sierra do everything?
Sierra, it was,
Back in
it was
the
the
day, they
same
did.
line as all the Quest games.
And my favorite Sierra game of all time, Red Storm Rising.
Mm.
I had on the Commodore 64.
In fact, Sierra's making a comeback, I think. Roberta is doing a bunch of new stuff lately.
What was the game company with Square in their name?
Square Enix.
Square Enix.
A guy that I knew, his dad was an art professor when I was in college. I knew him after college because I hung out with a lot of. They were just a couple of years younger than me, but a lot of. I wound up hanging out with some folks that I met through a mutual friend, and he was working for Square Enix and did some animation for them. Now he's making a living as a professional photographer.
Cupid. Oh shit.
Oh God, Cubert.
Way to derail my monologue there, Chris.
Interesting.
And Michaela's going, what?
Don't have a clue.
It was
Not
a
a
game.
gamer.
Not
I
that
figured
it
it
wasn't
was.
welcome by everybody else in the room, but you know.
Okay. Somebody's got to be the odd man out. I don't mind. It's fine.
No, don't worry. Like, I haven't played a game. I haven't actively played a game since like 2016, and before that, I wasn't a gamer either. So
Well,
don't worry.
Hey,
Some of my friends had the Nintendo 64, and I thought I had to have one. And of course, I grew up in poverty, so that was like a pipe dream. But
Yeah.
Mom somehow got it for us for Christmas, and I learned one move, and it was on the little black dude, the Nob Cybot. And if you went down, down, up, he would do his super mega jump and annihilate any other character. I'm like, I can do this. Do you know how to piss off your friends?
Which
Get one
game? Because the
character
Nintendo 64 is the
and one
console.
move, and that's all it takes.
Well, you're not allowed to play Mortal Kombat anymore.
Shut up! I like Mortal Kombat.
Yes, you
Okay, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Somebody else takes that character.
I'm still playing World of Warcraft.
Yep.
I played World of Warcraft a little bit earlier today.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But
Mm.
no Cybot was easy. It was down, down, up. Annihilation.
It's thousands.
Nobody likes your negativity. Get the fuck out of my office.
Fatality.
Child abuse.
yeah.
Angry
Start with
Ball.
me. I will throw some seeds at you.
Finish her.
But yeah, there you go.
Send her to bed.
Get
How
out.
are you people?
These are
Oh,
She
my
didn't. She didn't bring you liquor. It counts.
Yeah, get out.
She does have a good T-shirt though.
Give me back my eyeballs. Wait, I don't need them. It's fine. I don't care. Whatever. This is how it goes in my house.
she's adorable too.
And
Yeah.
she's so your daughter.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's my mini me,
Mhm.
for better or worse.
And one day you're going to regret giving her your attitude. Probably
Every damn day.
probably about 40 years from now when it gets really annoying.
She was the one that after I had her, The nurse came in the room and she said, "Do you hear that baby crying down the hall?" And this baby was screaming at the top of its lungs. And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "That one's yours." I'm like, "Okay, can I have a different one? Like, is that possible? Like, can we exchange? Like, can I have a quiet one, please?"
But anyway,
Surprise is
I've
not
got the
shown.
warranty here somewhere.
optional equipment.
Money back guarantee.
The driver's door.
Or like my dad likes to joke, it's never too late for abortion.
We don't need to drive.
I don't care if he's 50.
Yeah. Lord.
Oh Lord, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the little one just got back from homecoming, and she's home from homecoming, and now she has a boyfriend.
So she came home.
Oh,
And are we surprised?
no.
No, but I did learn that the boy had been asking her to be his girlfriend since before homecoming, and she made him wait. Like, why? And she's like, "Well, because we had just started talking and we just started." She's like, "And I thought, you know what, just wait till after homecoming, see how that goes." You know. And she's like, "So now we're boyfriend, girlfriend." Like, oh Lord. We knew it was a done deal when we're all sitting around the fire, and on his profile he changed it to "is in a relationship with." Like, oh, it is Facebook official. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Feed.
Might as well take a full page ad in the local paper.
Yeah.
With my middle child, for a while there, I wasn't learning names. I was just calling them ice cream flavors.
Yeah.
Mostly
flavor is it this
variations
week?
on vanilla.
No, actually, usually like pralines, pecan,
Rocky Road.
butter pecan,
I was just thinking that one.
and anything that had nuts in it, because to be with my child at that point in time, they were.
I dated some girls like that. It
Ben
was
and
bad.
Jerry's.
It was bad.
Cherry Garcia.
Damn it, John.
What?
John got him.
Oh, college was so long ago.
Shut up, Dan. I don't want to think about it.
It was before you were born.
Yeah.
Okay, so my daughter is now dating a kid. They're both 15. On the way home tonight, I said to my husband, "What were you doing when you were 15?" Because we didn't meet until he was 17. And he's like, "I don't fucking remember. It's too far. It's too long ago."
Oh no, he remembers.
He probably
Yeah, he just didn't want to tell you.
Oh no.
Oh, he'd tell me. He
That
don't
means
care.
he's a smart husband.
There we go.
Yes.
This
But
is
yeah.
not the green room. This is not the green room.
No,
This is
but-
not the green room.
No, we have one of those. I've never understood those relationships where the man and the wife, they are married, but they're more like roommates in the fact that like he does his stuff, she does her stuff. I don't get it. Like,
Yes,
aren't
dear.
you best friends? Isn't that why you got married?
Yeah, but allowing each other to do your own thing keeps you from winding up on unsolved mysteries.
Right. No, I get that, but like some of these people,
Or
like
snap.
it's almost like they live completely separate lives. They just live in the same house. It's just weird. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It might make sense later.
And I'm flipping through the book trying to find it, and I'm like, warning. No, I don't want warnings. I want the engine.
Mickey's telling me about her. She just purchased an RV, which is what she's been saving for. This is her plan.
I
And
thought
she
she was
just got
reading one of Donna's books. Warning, warning, warning.
No. So here, pop in
And
here
this
and
is
tell
how
me
you
your
do
story.
it.
I don't want to tell my story.
Tell me your story.
What
No,
do
you
I-
like popping in
What
here.
do I say?
Your story. Tell me what you found.
It's okay. We don't bite.
Yeah.
And some of us know
Another time
something
she'll
about
pop her damn head in here.
Because I have
yeah. Some of us know something about automobiles.
Say it.
Yeah. But no, she was telling me she went through the manual for this RV and she was looking to learn things about it and all she was finding was warning, warning, warning. And she's like, I don't need warnings, I need info.
I need the engine.
Dr.
Yeah.
Smith is irate.
So
Yeah, she doesn't know. Huh?
Yes, Donna realizes that was an exact quote from the original Lost in Space. We have established that I am an antique, all right?
How old are you?
You don't want to know. Shh.
I'll be
So wait a
65
minute.
in another month.
And I'll be 66.
Shut up and go away. Don't call my friends old. That's bad.
You want me to call you old?
No, now go away. Nobody likes
don't
you.
worry, I just look older than I am.
Whatever.
Hey,
Get off
I'm
my
older than I
lawn.
look.
See?
Try this
We
again.
gotta meet somewhere in the middle, I swear. Hey, are you doing, Chris?
See what you wandered into,
Yeah.
Chris?
Hey, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's-
Little
Did you see
whippersnappers.
my
Yeah.
earlier
I've had people ask
comment
me
after
before, like,
Zork?
why I had.
Oh yeah, I bet we were in full flow, so I couldn't pop them up on screen. Oh,
He was too
And-
busy trying not to choke on his beer.
I
mm,
saw that.
Choke on his beer. Okay, got it. Never mind.
yeah,
Not what I
yeah,
heard.
yeah. Not
Not in hashtag mode either.
Oh yeah. Okay.
hey, we don't. Well,
Just
nobody's ever thought we were worthy of hashtagging in here. So if you feel it's
That's
so
what we're calling it
inclined,
now. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the kids are calling it now.
For
Yeah,
those
really.
of y'all who didn't see it, I typed the dirtiest thing ever said in early '80s computer movie. Movie was Electric
Mhm.
Dreams. Girl tells the protagonist after defeating the antagonist, "So you want to put a hard drive in the mainframe?" And the way she said it was more effective than I ever could make it.
it,
a lot
it,
more risque.
a lot is determined by your tone of voice. You can say something entirely innocent in such a way that it sounds like you just made the dirtiest joke possible.
Yeah.
But
And that's what you told me last night.
was I wrong?
No. So basically, it should have gone. So, you want to put a hard drive into a mainframe? Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, baby, but I
Oh,
wanted.
honey, you got 3 kids. You all know what that means.
No, I don't.
Yeah, baby, but I want to defrag it first.
Oh my.
Come on, Rich. I see it. Come on.
No. Rich
We
and Rich and I seem to be brothers from different mothers. So I think something and he says it. He thinks something and I say it. Only I don't have any brakes.
We almost killed him last night. Maybe we can get the job done tonight. It's so nice to not be the only one that almost dies in the green room.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah, Chris, you're having trouble again.
what a
We
way
have
to go!
sicknesses now.
Thing is,
Oh,
you're looking at 1984, you're stuck with maybe 5 meg. It's not 3 meg.
Chris 1 and Chris 2. Why am I
That's
reminded
about
of
the
Cat
time that
Nat?
movie came out.
Oh.
It's the shirt. I'm sure it's the shirt.
What now,
I saw
Cat?
that on Twins once. They had, and they were little toddlers. They had the shirts on that said Thing 1 and Thing 2. I'm like, oh my god, that's genius.
Yeah.
Freaking genius.
Oh, there was one writer introduced a married couple, very humorous sort of married couple, and the kid's name was N.O. Spoonbender and N.T. Spoonbender, and you finally figured out it was number 1 and number 2.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Well,
We tried real hard, Chris.
Yeah. I'm
hey,
sorry your internet isn't any better.
yeah,
It's,
sorry about that, Chris, but I mean, you can still contribute. I promise I'll try and flash up
I was
things
gonna
that
say
you say on the screen.
I'm gonna take off because everybody's here and we're chatting, so I've got a whole crowd out there. So, but I wanted to
Alright.
pop in and say hi.
Yep.
It's been fun, and we'll chat again
Is there
sometime.
going to be a Tidbits Monday?
I think it is a Tidbits Monday.
I know it is, but is there going to be one?
Sure, there's gonna be one.
And
All
you
right.
had a couple weeks
Damn it,
off.
just a minute. Okay,
Michaela-
all right, I gotta go.
Okay.
Alright.
Monday will probably be the last one I can do
For a
regularly
while.
scheduled. Yeah.
Okay.
Same situation, you know why.
Right. Yep.
But I'll be more than happy to be there if you need me.
Okie dokie. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
You're
See you
welcome.
Monday.
Yep. Bye.
See you soon.
Welcome back, John.
Welcome back.
You missed it, John.
Is that
Yeah,
what that sound was? Bullets ricocheting off the house?
I'll be back in a moment.
Well, one says hi, the other goes.
Yeah, but he's just going down the hall. He left his sound on, so.
So, fun fact, I have a date on Tuesday.
Should we be worried or not?
So far not yet, but my best friends already were like, oh, please don't let it be another stray.
So if we don't see you on Wednesday, we should contact the Amsterdam police.
No, should be
Okay.
fine. I'm going to Harlem.
Oh, Lord. And in New York, that has a totally different meaning.
Don't worry, in the Netherlands it does too.
Mhm.
And an even different meaning in the Midwest.
Okay. Good luck. Hope it works. Have a good time.
It's probably just going to be a good time.
One would hope so.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going for. But no, she is getting into publishing as well, and she asked for a logo commission. And after a voice chat, well, video chat, talking about the whole commission thing, we kind of hit it off, and I was like, oh, you know what? We're going to keep talking anyway. Why don't we go and hang out?
Hey, makes sense to me.
Stranger things have happened.
Exactly.
Well, I met Carl because he was hitting on my best friend in a bar. I'm standing there talking to somebody I know, and I look over, and my friend's like, so I
Save
go
me.
over, and next thing I know, it's just him and I.
Mm-hmm.
And what the hell? He moves in 1 month later, and 3 months later, we're married. 35 years ago, this November. He got in trouble for that last night, didn't he, Dan?
Oh,
I
boy.
can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, boy.
1987 came. I don't know who brought 1987 up, and I'm like, well, something happened in 1987, didn't it, Carl? And he's like, what?
Just the tone of voice was enough to remind any sober man. Exactly.
He was so beyond sober.
But he was already at least 4 sheets into the wind by then.
It's been
And
a
one
running gag
took
of
over
mine
the
since
line.
1991. I wonder what the hell happened in 1987. So yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's okay. When he gets into trouble, I get good shit.
that has so many meanings.
Oh boy.
And not all of them can. Well, none of them can be said here. Um,
I got but that reminds me, I need to pick out my room.
I'll have
Um,
Mr. Winter's room, please.
we have a fantasy suites in Clinton, Illinois, over here,
Mm.
and there's the Roman room and the Crystal room, and the first one we went into was the space room. That was so cool. The
Does the Roman
bed,
room include gladiators?
no, those are extra,
Ah, well,
but it has the columns and stuff. The the
I'm
space
sure it
room,
does.
the bed was round and made up like a UFO. It had kind of walls on it and then little openings where you crawled in. And when you got in there, there were all these buttons, just like on a spaceship, but it was everything in the whole room that it connected. And they would put stars up on the ceiling. Every room has, you could probably get 6 people in the showers. They're so big. And every room has its own hot tub in it.
Nice.
The cave room we went into was something like out of the Flintstones. It was really cool. It had a waterfall in the uh,
Oh
in
wow.
the shower. Yeah, and
Oh, don't,
there's the
madam,
Arabian Nights room.
you tempt me, strange lad.
Mm, I would love to have a shower like that here.
You realize I used to when I was in college, I was shooting for architecture in the art college. Ted Davies and I have that in common. Only he actually pursued it.
Bowling for soup. Okay, but yeah, they have, and so we're going through. Every time we go back, we choose a different room. They only have 2 rules: no smoking,
Fair enough.
and only 2 people in your room.
Fair
Where's the
enough.
Where's the
Okay,
fun in that? Uh,
because trust me, those rooms are huge. And it's take your average suite room in a hotel and make it at least twice, if not 3 times as big. The rooms are huge.
I've very seldom had a suite room in the hotel, and not a suite, but just a very
Hmm.
sweet room.
Yeah.
You
Um,
guys aren't that far from me, so I might need to get the name and address of that hotel.
In
To
Clinton,
take,
it's just the fantasy suites. I think it's a holiday.
and I might take Misty there for our anniversary.
There we go. Sounds
hey,
like a good one.
really, sounds like a
Yeah.
very intelligent plan to me.
Which means I'll screw it up somehow.
I think
I
that's the
mean,
plan. Um,
Not in the good way.
no, the good way. Why am I thinking in Ramones songs right now?
Oh, sunset.
24 hours to go. I want to be sedated.
Thank you, Rich. You've just proved the theory. We are two souls with at
Okay,
least,
oh boy.
if not a shared brain, then definite mental telegraph.
there's the link in the
Hey, oh,
private chat.
let's go.
Let's go. Hey,
Oh, that is cool.
let's go.
I gotta I gotta find somewhere like this in the Netherlands. That is awesome.
Yeah, they're more expensive than a regular hotel room, but they are worth it.
Obviously, like this is very specialized, and yeah.
Yeah. When you find a hotel that does specialty suites, yes, it does cost more, but you wind up having an experience that you will never forget,
Yeah.
whether the hotel is a dump or a very good one. And only the reviewers can say for sure.
Yeah, and there's a restaurant just across the street, and there's a Applebee's. Yeah, Applebee's just down the street a little bit. But yeah, it's
God, those are
great.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds posh as all get out.
Well, it depends. The cave room wasn't exactly posh, but it was really cool.
Hey, there's posh and there's posh.
Posh, yes. Yeah. The other idea was there's a seafood place down in Springfield, Illinois called Chesapeake Bay. And wonderful, wonderful food. That's where I learned that I like escargot.
Ah.
And we're hoping it survived COVID because I would like to go back there sometime. But since we used to do a science fiction con where our local Star Trek group was security for it, and that was around Thanksgiving down in Springfield. Well, my birthday and such, our anniversary, because we got married on my 31st birthday, meant we were just right there, so we would go out to the Chesapeake. And was an old house that they made into a restaurant, so you got, instead of one big room with tables, you've got little rooms that may only have a couple tables in them.
Intimate seating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always nice in a place that you're going to for the romantic ambiance.
Yes.
It's hard to be romantic in a football stadium. It has been done, but it's much easier when it is a enclosed, specialized space.
Mm-hmm.
And not in the bomb shelter sort of way, but I'm reminded that during the Blitz, a lot of children were born 9 months later, so somebody had some curtains somewhere.
Look, if you're gonna die anyway, you might as well make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's like somebody told Carl that the cigars
Talk about
were
going out
going
with
to
a
kill
bang.
him.
Yeah, really.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
One of the preserved folks from Pompeii was grinding one out when the lava got him. So sorry, that's probably TMI, but it's archaeological. I mean, you can look it up.
Oh shoot! Here comes the lava. Let's go on.
Well, we're gonna die anyway. Might as well do it fun.
Yeah, really.
I mean, you know, if you're that stressed out, you might as well do a stress reliever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would have been better if he had a partner, but no.
One of the,
If the penis will blow its load, so will he.
Yeah, really.
you do the best you can under the circumstances sometimes.
My dick's on fire.
One of the first things my mother ever told me about sex, you know how most women will sit their daughters down and go, it's lovely when it's with someone you love and yada yada. No, the first thing that my mother told me was, do not tell him you have a headache. Sex cures a headache. Okay, Mom.
It's true.
It's true,
Um,
yes. That's what, yeah.
I've got to disagree. I actually went through the act with
Depends where
a
you're at
woman
with it
that
too.
I actually went through the act with a woman that I dearly loved at the time, and I had a splitting headache, and she noticed my performance was just a tad off,
Mm-hmm.
and later when there should have been celebrating the afterglow, it was on my part. Oh, I need some Excedrin. This
Sorry.
this
I
was
mean,
this was not a well received comment at the time.
I can understand that.
But she said, "Look, next time you've got a headache, tell me no." And I go, "Tell you no?" Um, Telling a woman no is not part of my vocabulary. I was single at the time. Well, we were a couple, but I would had yet to be married at the time. So I did learn that behavior later on, and not with my wives, but I'm
If Misty ever watches this, I'm probably gonna get my ass beat. But if I do it, I get a whooping. I do
here
it.
we go.
So shortly after we were married, at that point in time, there were a lot of days that I was working 20 hours a day. Um, so it was one day after one of these 20-hour shifts. So I'm laying down and just trying to get some sleep because I've been up for more than 24 hours at that point in time. And she was wanting to be a little bit frisky, and I'm like, "Can you give me a 2-hour nap?" I'm not saying no. I'm saying, can I get a rain delay of 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Almost 18 years later, I'm still hearing about it.
You were
Oh,
out for 12.
why should I initiate if no? She didn't bother waking me. If you're going to push me away, I'm like, I didn't push you away because falling asleep mid act.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
bad form. Yeah.
I would not wake up. She'd be
Yeah,
getting
for
life
sure.
insurance. Well, no, she'd actually be getting life in prison, not life insurance. But um,
Yeah.
Hey, you bought her that steam iron for a reason, not necessarily that reason, but yeah.
What's a steam iron?
Fortunately, the lady was very understanding, and um, I did not have any more headaches ever again in that relationship that I would admit to. Um, hey, um, look, you're 20
Mm-hmm.
and she's interested, and
You're
it's
gonna
kind
get
of,
some.
yeah, it's one of those things where you pretty much go, damn the pain, full speed ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And later in life you might reconsider and go, oh, honey, I can't right now, but that's later in life with someone else who is also later in life,
Mm-hmm.
who has gone through, if not the same circumstances, but something that gives them an insight into that circumstance. Um, to this day, I will not admit to having a headache. When the moment is right and the stars have aligned and things work out, and I just go, fuck off, Cthulhu. I've got other fish to fry.
Mm-hmm. And that's very true, Chris. But as the Dr. Hook song says, girls can get it anytime they want. Or a man
Yeah.
often don't.
If I'm having a nap, I need coffee afterwards. I'm a coffee addict. I get a headache. Getting woken up by a girl, getting it on, is really fun and all, but I still told her, give me a cup of cappuccino first. You know how to wake me up. Or I'm going to grab it myself and I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Mm.
She didn't like that.
Yeah, 10 minutes, she might not be in the mood, dude.
Yeah, well, sucks to be her. I need my coffee. I have my priorities in life.
I'm not saying your priorities are in the wrong order, but your
He's fine.
priorities in the wrong freaking order, dude.
You just gotta find someone with the same priorities. But coffee is
Mm-hmm.
actually very good for a headache because it opens the capillaries in your neck.
Mm-hmm.
Especially before you actually go and take a nap. If you drink coffee, you won't wake up with a headache.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have one before, for example, if you have a migraine,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Migraines, the only cure I have ever discovered for migraines is an ice pack in a very dark room with no sound. The door
Oh,
has to be
yeah.
closed. Look, I don't care what you do in the rest of the house. I'm not well.
Exactly. Like, just close the
Yeah.
door, leave me alone, total darkness, and everything is no.
Yep. With me, migraines are about the only aspect that I would understand of brain surgery without anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody trying to drill a hole in my head with a very dull drill bit.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, migraines are becoming fewer and fewer these days. When I was in my 30s, yeah, it was a little bit more frequent. I think it was environmental. There was something that was causing it.
Something was a
Uh,
trigger.
yeah, probably some chemical at work that I was breathing, and
Yeah.
got home, and it was just one of those things where I'm sitting on a folding chair in the bathroom with my head on the sink because it's the closest I can get to a cold compress
Mm-hmm.
without having to move.
After I quit smoking, I found out cigarette smoke is one of the triggers for mine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And
Well,
both my parents were chain smokers. Both my sisters were chain smokers. So
Mm.
it was only after I quit that I'm like, I'm getting less headaches because I was barely at home anymore. I'm like, wow, it's bad that I'm getting less headaches in the factory breathing in toxic chemicals than I am at home.
Yep. No, for me, it was really work stress back in the day. Like the moment I quit like I would have a migraine every Saturday, hands down. Like every every Saturday after work week, I would just be done. Um, because it wasn't about a work environment, and your body will start protesting if your mental health is not doing great either. So the moment I quit, it was turning into once a month, once a year. No, once in a while I have them because I still have to work in a group and it's still very stressful for me, but it's a fun group. But
that goes back to the old saying, sometimes hell is other people.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
oh yes.
There's
Well,
there's a
and
reason why Robinson Crusoe was one of my favorite novels.
yeah. Well, and you get in with a group too, and they learn what buttons to push.
Yeah.
Because you learn what buttons to push on them too.
Mm-hmm. And that tends to heterodyne a bit. One person pushes somebody else's button. That person pushes somebody else's button, if not the original button pusher, and it just kind of what comes around goes around until you wind up on Unsolved Mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell me, George, why did you kill everybody in the house?
They were
Well.
home.
They were home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear, the
I
more
didn't kill
true crime,
everybody in the house. Bob was on the front lawn when I got in.
yeah, the more I study true crime, the more human it seems to overreact.
Yes. It, you can
Oh,
only take so much as a human being before,
mm-hmm.
it's a crime passionnel.
What's the old saying? Everybody is only one bad day away from doing something horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a good insight into writing believable villains as well. They might not be bad people. They just had a
Bad
whole
days.
series of bad incidents
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Or just one
Falling
very,
down.
very bad day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the tellings of
Michael
the
Douglas's best movie.
Falling down,
Joker.
yes. The Joker, yes, that's another one.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, that's the entire basis behind the graphic novel Killing Joke.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah. And
I'm
there's a
thinking War of the Roses. You mentioned Michael Douglas. That that was a hilarious movie, but yeah, it was just pushing just a little bit far till they both snapped.
Yeah. Um, I'd class that as a character study,
In
basically.
fact, isn't there
Mm,
a Oxygen or Women's Channel or Lifetime Channel TV show called Snapped? That's
yes,
about that, about women who just get pushed too far one day and just.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
yeah.
it's on Oxygen along with the other true crimes.
Ah,
It's one of my sister's favorite shows, and whenever she starts watching it, my nephew starts getting really nervous.
yeah.
Sure.
What's right is Chris and Matthew are both right. Um, oh yeah, the animated Killing Joke was pretty good. Um, I don't remember if I have seen that, but I was profoundly affected by the graphic novel, which is one of the comic books that didn't get stolen by my first wife, mostly because it came out after we got divorced. Um,
That helps.
hey, um, you can't fool me. You'll turn off the flashlight when I'm halfway over. Uh, oh Lord, did you know there was a pilot for a Remo Williams TV series?
Hmm.
No, I knew there was a movie.
Yeah,
Was that
there was actually a pilot for a TV series with different actors,
I thought they
and
made it a season.
as far as I know, it was only a pilot and never got picked up. I never
Huh.
saw anything else, but I would be only too glad um, to find out that there is some I could search for and watch. But the the end scene of the TV series tied into the movie where Chun is running across the lake. You, the secret is you have to move very fast. Well, they were on top of a building that was on fire, and the firemen were there putting it out, and they walked down the fire hose stream of water to get to the ground instead of using a ladder. And I'm just going, there's about 7 different jokes you could do with that particular premise, and none of them would be well received except within a very select group. But it's either sardonic or sarcastic. I can't decide which.
Remo Williams' The Prophecy, TV pilot, 1988.
There you go. John, I think you have competition for the title of Mr. Google.
I wasn't looking for it, but that's
Sure you weren't.
no, I was actually.
That's half my job, so. How do we do blah, blah, blah? All right, let me just look that up for you.
Oh, Chris, I don't know if I can post that one. Okay, we'll go for it. We might get banned. A woman that will take your dog will cut you. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that at all.
No.
I'll take it. I'll take it at face value. Yes, indeed. And the obverse might be
Pardon me.
just as the obverse might be just as true, but less comprehensible to some people. A woman that will cut you will take your dog.
Yeah. I'm gonna be right back. Got myself more coffee.
Ah. Oh. Why is it that dangerous partners are sometimes so fun, even though you know it's not going to be long term?
I always like a little danger once in a while. Makes us feel alive, gets your blood rushing.
Dan, we live in the nation of, here, hold my beer.
I live in the state of,
This
hey,
this
hold my
nation,
beer.
This nation caters to stupid people. That's just all there is to it. That is our gross domestic product, is catering to stupid people. Bicycle helmets, seat belts, child seats, signs for stuff that you're going, why did they have to make a sign for that? Okay, it's just.
Have you ever noticed there are instructions for you
On a shampoo bottle?
To not drink it.
I wanted to be a cop.
a pack of toothpicks?
I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to be a psychological profiler for the FBI. I was an EMT, not employed, but I still was an EMT. And then I got into IT. All of the major career things in my life that I wanted to do and ended up doing revolve around stupid people. Without them, I'd be unemployed. Fact.
And IT is probably the worst when it comes to stupid people.
Yeah. Yeah.
IT for a law firm at that. So, sometimes we're having to deal with the extra stupid, not necessarily with the attorneys. Some of the attorneys are boxes of rocks. I'll give you that. But some of the clients that the attorneys have to represent, that we have to figure out how to make our stuff go with stuff that shouldn't work, period. It gets really interesting.
Yes, the proverbial ID10T error.
Yep. PEBCAC. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. Our favorite toast on the help desk was always, here's the stupid people. Without them, we'd be unemployed.
You know,
always
I
like
bet
the one-
it's
I always
a
like
real.
the one the guy walks in, picks up the guy's keyboard, looks at it, and goes, "I found the problem." He goes, "What?" He says, "There's a loose nut behind the keyboard."
Rich, did you know the story of one of Carl's people where she claimed that her monitor had been stolen? Yeah. Uh, it was not too long after everybody got laptops.
And someone closed her laptop.
Mm.
Yeah, the cleaning person closed her laptop, so when she came in the next day, there was no monitor there.
Did you ever get tempted to tell someone to turn it off and never turn it on again?
Walk in, hand them an abacus, grab the computer, and walk out.
Or do the Dilbert thing and just give them an etch a sketch and say, when it needs to be rebooted, just hold it over your head and shake it.
My mom. All the time.
No,
I always thought the joke about, the power outage and not being able to work on the computer, blah, blah, blah. I always thought that was a joke. The original one might have been written as a joke. I've taken that call.
I had a friend who worked in IT and got so frustrated with a customer and trying to tell them how to do something that he finally was like, "Do you still have the box that came in?" Yeah. Put it back in the box, take it back to the store, get a refund, and never ever try
Buy
to.
another computer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got reprimanded on that one because for some reason the guy complained.
Aw.
Oh, that's
Here's
unfair.
Here's a
know.
fun help desk story. Actually, two of them. So one of them was dealing with a very powerful lawyer who didn't like my answer. Hung up on me. Next call in queue comes in. I start working on that call. And about 2 minutes into that call, someone comes into the help desk area. Where the hell is Rich? People point to the back corner where I sat. He comes and he's looming over me and he starts screaming in my ear. I'm like, I'm going to need you to hold on for 1 second. I've got someone that is walking in the room and, they're like, I hear what's going on. Do what you have to do. Put the call on hold. And all I did was this. They came up to here. So the attorney is just sitting there going, turns around, walks out, and I'm like, all I was doing is I tried to get on an even field. He's standing up talking to me. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to talk to him. I am not stupid enough to swing on an attorney. One, it's going to cost me my job. Mm-hmm. Two, even if I don't make contact, that's a threatening gesture. He's going to be able to sue me so hard that my great grandchildren will be owned by his.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not saying it's directly correlated, but about 6 months later, he did leave the firm. And then the next best one. So, Microsoft Office. If you close out and you did not save your changes, and when the little box pops up that says, "Boop, do you want to save your changes?" and you say no, that erases the temporary file where all those changes were. There's a less than 1% chance. Now, in more modern versions, it works, except at the firm, because our document management system, our electronic filing cabinet, if you will, defeats that so that it doesn't work like Microsoft wants it to work. But anyways, so the attorney at the other end of the line was extremely pissed off about this. It's like, well, I need to get this back. I'm like, I'm not telling you we're not going to work on it. I'm not telling you we're not going to look for it. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the reasonable expectation that there's a less than 1% chance we're going to find this. Well, you better find it. If the file's there, we will. So, I'm like, we'll talk to my supervisor. We'll make sure we'll do everything we can in our power. He hangs up on me. I start working on the ticket, writing up the ticket to go ahead and send it to my supervisor. So my supervisor knows what the hell's going on. He calls back almost immediately, gets another technician. The other technician immediately puts it on mute, starts laughing his ass off. Unmutes, he's like, sir, I heard the other half of this conversation just a moment ago. The technician that I would talk to about trying to figure out how to do this is the one you just hung up on.
Yep.
So we spent 3 days looking for 10 minutes worth of changes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my previous firm, sir, this isn't your previous firm. This is Catton. This is the way we do things here.
Yeah. My favorite IT story is the whistling computer. Before my friend immigrated from the UK to Hollywood to become an artist, he was in IT in London. And he gets a call, and this person's like, every time I boot up my computer, it whistles.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back when, it took like 10 minutes to boot up. So Tim's like, I can't figure out what that could be.
Oh boy.
Let me come over and see. So he goes over to the guy's place of business, and he lets him in, and he starts up his computer, and Peter pretty sure, of course, he puts his kettle on. And just about the time the computer comes up, the tea kettle goes off. And Tim says, I think I see your problem.
Oh.
Lack of functioning brain cells, yes.
I had to fix a squealing issue with my computer earlier today. One of the fans was going out. Its RPMs was down to 200. So I'm like, yes, good time to actually change that. I bought the fans a couple of months ago. I didn't feel like changing it at my dad's kitchen table. So I'm like, let's go ahead and change that today. So that was my morning.
My favorite one is they call the IT guy. Yes, what's the problem? The cup holder's broken.
I've had that.
Oh no.
Unironically, I've had that.
I've heard that one before, yeah.
That's why they did away with CDs and DVDs. Okay, I'm just telling y'all out. There's some idiot that was always using that to hold a coffee cup.
My mom called me, going, my wireless keyboard isn't working. Which I replied, Mom, it's not wireless. Have you checked the USB cable? There is a wire connected to it. No, there isn't. Mom, look at the bottom of your keyboard. There should be a wire going down. There isn't. Did you pull out the wire? Well, there is a hole there now. Mom, go to the discount store, get yourself a new keyboard. It is not wireless.
One of my favorite dad stories. So in our family, we do our gift exchange on Christmas Eve. So for 1 year for Christmas, I bought my dad a bunch of computer upgrades. And so new hard drive, zip drive, removable drive bay, bunch of other stuff, just a whole ton more memory, bunch of stuff. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, hey Richie, you want to come install that stuff on my computer? I was actually awake. I was playing a request. I'm like, just give me a couple minutes to get it out of the game, and I'll be right down. I get down there. Dad has the computer torn completely apart, and all the components laying on wool carpet.
No.
Oh.
Thankfully, nothing shorted. I start
Wow.
putting it together. Dad's like, that's not how that goes. Dad, trust me. That's not how that, Dad, trust me. And just every time he stops me, I just give him a look like, the hell are you talking about? And keep going on. And then finally he's like, will you listen to me? That's not how it goes. I'm like, Dad, do I tell you how to fix furnaces and air conditioners for a living? Which is what my dad did. He's like, looks at me like I'm an idiot. No. I'm like, then don't tell me how to do my job. My dad actually sat back for a moment, cocked his head to the side, and realized, holy shit, this is what he does for a living. I'm like, also, Dad, I'm the one that built this computer. I know how I had it put together.
Yep.
So, but thankfully, it was a Christmas miracle. He didn't short out anything.
Oh. Yeah.
So,
No.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there, I'm just shaking my head as I'm walking down the steps. I'm like, please, please, please let the majority of this stuff work because I can't get it replaced anywhere today. It is literally 3 a.m. on Christmas Day.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the first time that my dad started actually looking at me like a professional instead of the fat screw up that he raised. So. But yeah, I just love it. I just finally I got it to just hit my dad with, do I tell you how to do this? No. Why are you telling me how to do my job? Never questioned the way I worked on computers for him ever again.
Yeah, the worst thing my dad and I could ever have done for working together is getting the same trade. He is a paver. He teaches paving, like in trade school. And because I was out of options, I did the same. We do have the same goal. We do have the same kind of methods, but we do things just different enough that it starts getting two captains at sea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was in line at the grocery store once, and the register was acting up, and had to wait while they fixed it. And the lady apologized, and I'm like, doesn't bother me like it would some people because it's screwed up computers like that that's making it possible for me to have a very nice retirement.
Since I mentioned both my mom and my pops today.
Mm.
Oh, well, they actually did put senior in this one.
I have actually run into a problem at work. It seems that it's more cost effective for me to swap an Ethernet cable between two computers than for somebody to buy a second Ethernet cable and plug it into the router and run it across the ceiling of that particular room and down into the room that my lab is in and give the intruding computer its own Ethernet, which would not be so bad if, sharing the cable between the two, except that corporate at noon every day calls up the second computer and downloads the test results that are run on it for the previous 24 hours. I am oftentimes still doing my own stuff on my computer at 12 o'clock, and they can't download the test information until the next day because I haven't swapped the wires over, because I'm busy doing my job and I need my computer.
Look, it's going to take a couple of hours, but a Cat 6 cable is not that hard to wire up.
Mm-hmm.
No, basically, all they have to do is buy one long enough, plug it in,
Yeah.
run it across the between the two rooms,
and
and
drop it through the ceiling.
plug it in the intruder computer, so I can have mine back.
But that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have put your finger on the nub of the problem that
If things made sense, we wouldn't need management.
Not wrong.
That's their claim, at least.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that generally. Now, granted, before my current manager, my previous manager was actually an exception to the rule. He was actually one of the ones that fixes things, which explains why he's a director now. But management will often break things so that they can be the savior.
Mm-hmm.
well, there's no saving this situation because I can't get anybody to listen to me. Just go buy 100-foot Ethernet cable and run it between the two rooms.
Yep.
Everybody's happy, and it only costs what?
$20?
$30?
Yeah, 20, $30. Like, they're cheap as all hell.
Yeah. I've been tempted to do it myself, except I get in trouble. I'm not supposed to be intelligent enough to figure out how to fix a problem
Mm-hmm.
You can probably
without
get
corporate getting
a
involved.
three-port hub for about $15.
Oh no, can't do that. Can't do that. If corporate IT detects
That's right. You're
a
telling me
hub,
about that.
they will shut down the entire network because they are deathly afraid, and with good reason, of getting hit with a malware attack again.
Yep,
Because
fair
they
enough.
did, and the entire worldwide company network was shut down for a couple of months. Now you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation.
No disaster recovery program.
You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation based in France.
Oh, that explains everything.
Yeah.
That explains literally everything.
Yes, I know.
The French know two things: revolution and throwing money at it. Even more than Americans do. And then they hire a Dutch guy to fix it for them.
You forgot snobbery.
Then they tell the Dutch guy he's wrong.
Especially that.
Believe me, trying to talk sense to corporate is very much like throwing bricks in the Grand Canyon. You're going to be at it for a long time before you make a serious impression.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And after 45 years with the company, I'm beginning to see why other companies seem kind of silly. They've all got the same kind of attitude when you get to that level of power.
Yep.
I don't care if it's not physically possible, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Scott always said, I cannot violate the laws of physics, Captain.
Yep.
There are a lot of people that should learn that in kindergarten. This is the way the world works. Don't ask me to violate natural laws. Can't be done.
And if you do, people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
My manager does not understand technology. She's admitted to as much. Granted, we're part of the IT department. Technology is in our name.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll ask for something. I'm like, that's not possible. Make it possible. I'm like, no, it's literally not possible. You don't have any idea how our network works, do you? You cannot do it. Well, why not? Well, one, it's not in the application. Two, even if it were in the application you're wanting to do this in, our network protocols for safety and security won't allow this to happen.
Mhm.
Well, why? For security. Do you want me to explain how to get you feeling even more over your head? I feel the same way when people start talking beyond carburetor technology in engines. I understand older vehicles because I used to fix mine because my dad was under the impression if I broke it, I would have to learn how to fix it.
Yep.
But, besides some older makes of cars and a few things in those older makes of cars, if it doesn't have an operating system, I'm useless trying to repair it.
There are a distressing number of people that practice the Captain Picard School of Management. Make it so. It can't be
Yeah.
made so. Make it so anyway.
Yeah.
You're muted, John.
Sometimes those are the best leaders, though.
Oh, yeah, no, they're hilarious, but
No.
awful to work with.
The ones who realize that everyone else knows how to get it done and they don't, and that they are only going to be in the way. So they just say, you guys got it, handle it. And they walk away. And all their job at this point is to take the ass chewing when you screw it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
Their job is to give the go ahead to the other departments to say, yes, work with me.
Mm-hmm. My point is that there are the other type that not only ask for the impossible, but demand the impossible. And
the difference between dictate and delegate.
Yes.
I didn't do that.
I did, and I had to go to the stupid o'clock directory to do it.
I
We're
noticed.
orange now, and we have a stupid o'clock logo in Mitch's room over there. What are those things called? Rich, what are those things
QR
called?
codes.
QR codes.
Thank you. QR. They couldn't come up with a cute name,
Which
like emoji. You know.
QR codes actually make me twitch.
Yeah. Well, if it weren't for the fact that it would cost Joe Dog extra for me to duplicate the useful graphics, I would go ahead and copy them into my directory. But I'm trying to avoid making him have to pay more for using the service. So these things they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Hallowcon. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Thought I'd point that out.
Won't be long now. We're getting into the final stretch.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a pumpkin that I carved actually say jack-o'-lantern, but I carved it a few years back, and I've been trying to think of something else to do. So the problem is everything I want to do is going to cost too much and take too long.
Sounds about right.
Excuse me.
Bless you. If you're gonna do it right.
You're right.
All right.
And you only get 3 use. After that, we figure it doesn't take, and we're going to start throwing salt and fire.
Yeah. After that, we bring flowers to the funeral.
You
Hey,
get an old priest and a young priest.
as long as I get to bartend at my wake, I may be a little bit slow with the drinks, but they'll be strong.
2 priests walk into a bar. I think the second one would have figured out what was going on.
Right.
Okay.
He didn't mention what denomination, so it's not prejudice.
They were Judas priests.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
You got that? You got that one.
Oh boy.
10 points
No,
for Gryffindor.
I wasn't punk at all.
I know, right?
Oh, Lord. All right, folks, it's getting down to the wire.
I wonder where that term comes from.
That is a
Is that
good
horse
question.
racing or something?
Greyhound racing, I do believe.
Mm.
I'm just guessing. I'm not an authority. I have never lost thousands of dollars betting on dogs. Because I know better. I've raised dogs.
And they always won.
Hey, if you set a dog to chase a rabbit, you better be sure there's not a quail fly across the field.
Mm.
I love that one video they show of they're training the greyhounds, so they're running the thing down there, and a real rabbit goes running across, and they all, instead of chasing the mechanical one, they all leave the field and chase after the real one.
Mm-hmm. Wind up in the parking lot, run over by somebody that's trying to get in to place a bet at the last minute. Somehow that should have been a Rodney Dangerfield movie. I don't know. Or maybe Marx Brothers would have done that premise justice. But ladies and gentlemen,
Last
is
night I
now.
shot an elephant in my pajamas. What he was doing in my pajamas, I'll never know.
Yeah, really.
Wait, in honor of the Queen. I wonder where that came from.
I don't
Everybody
know.
can see the palm of her hand or something like
It is literally the least offensive thing you can do in any language.
That makes sense.
In literally pretty much every society and community, this doesn't offend anyone, but it's still a wave. You know, holding it up like this could mean something else, or this is a salute, which could,
and
that especially.
you have to be careful not to use.
That was the Falkland salute.
The Dutch royalty does exactly the same because it is literally inoffensive everywhere.
I wonder how this is offensive. Go away. I don't want to see you.
I don't know, but somewhere, probably some
war started because of that shit. So, somewhere in history.
It might also be that if you're doing this all the way down the parade route, that'll get very tiring where that's a lot less movement.
Yes.
I think Disney screwed up with the animatronic. All right.
Every royal house is owned by the by the mouse.
Wait. Hi, Cat. And
Well, I want
Apparently the cat found it offensive.
I want to thank y'all for being here tonight, and I really don't know when the next time will be, but you're all more than welcome. Please do show up for Stupid O'Clock and annoy the crap out of Joe Dog. And
I may
just
want I may wind up getting stuck running this thing for that guy.
Really?
Really?
Okay. I mean, not that you couldn't do it. I just didn't know that people would have that kind of demand for it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
seriously.
Hey, if I get Mark
Basically,
Hamill on here, I'm going to bump up your numbers. Okay?
This is my Thursday and Sunday morning hangout, okay? I need this.
hey,
It gives me an excuse to not start working on my first sip of coffee.
this started off
Mhm.
as just
Mhm.
the after show for Stupid O'Clock because a lot of people that were regulars on Stupid O'Clock, some of them wanted an after show, and some of them were going, no, no, it's too late. We want to go to bed. And I
Fair.
went, well, I usually can't go to sleep until way late, and show that so the show began, and it's not that I have a different aim from Stupid O'Clock. It's basically I want people of all kinds of different opinions and whatnot to be able to get together and express themselves and maybe wake up Donna and
Been a long day.
yeah.
I've heard that several times.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can let Mike Jimmy. Well, it's Sunday. He's not going to go to work, but then
No,
again,
there's
he
work to be
might.
done, trust me.
Yeah, and the rest of
Almost
us.
Monday in England.
No, England is only 1 hour back. Don't worry, it's still Sunday there as well.
Oh, don't worry. It's Monday in Australia. I already know
That it is.
because one of my friends there told me so about 3 o'clock this afternoon. He's going, yeah, it's
And
damn
China.
near Tuesday. It's damn near Tuesday afternoon, dude.
Yeah.
I thought daylight savings time was going a little bit too far in Australia, but hey, it's their country. What can I say? I don't have any influence there. In any case, thank y'all for being here.
Always a
And
pleasure.
I have greatly enjoyed it, and I am um, only too sad that it's not going to be regularly scheduled for a little while, but it's not like I'm ending the
Now
show
from
forever.
irregularly scheduled program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like real life comes first, as much fun as this is.
Hey, I can just see the first time that Joe Dog tells John, "Hey, you want to run Last Man Standing?" and John pulls up a sign that's basically a test pattern that goes beep for 2 hours.
Oh boy.
Hey,
That.
yeah, now I'm giving him ideas. Um, y'all keep him on the straight and narrow in case there's a demand for uh, a hangout for insomniacs and other insane people like me. Believe me, there will be. So thank you all. Love you all. Folks watching later, like, share, subscribe. I don't care about getting new subscribers, but
Covered
it
chunks
seems
of
to be
mothers and
fashionable.
everything. Yeah,
Um, um,
Manipulate
these
that
things,
algorithm.
they happen. Yeah,
Exactly.
well,
Infect your neighbors. Infect your friends.
yeah, really, and
One
basically,
of us.
we're just trying to help Joe Dog out with Hallowcon. So,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
the more of you know about that, the better. And come and see us now. You hear? Oh wait, that's the wrong quote. Y'all come back now. You hear? That's the right quote. All right.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down.
System goes shut down. System goes shut down. System goes shut down.